rise and following the salute to the flag, and when we're done with that, I'd like to have a moment of silence for Joe Keys, village trustee, who just recently passed, unfortunately, and Patty C. So I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
please remain standing. May be seated. Tough times here at 14 Baker Street last couple of weeks. At any rate, welcome to our 25th, 2025 meeting of the Patchogue Planning Board and the Architectural Review Advisory Committee. If the fire alarm goes off in the building, please get up and exit the most expeditious way. Either go to the left or go to the right when you get in the hallway, and please walk outside the building. Please try to stay on the sidewalk. Please don't get in your car. Do not attempt to drive away, as it will impede the oncoming emergency vehicles. They'll come in, check the building. Once it's been certified for re-entry, we'll come back in and finish our meeting. So hopefully none of that will happen. Tonight we have a very short meeting tonight. Hopefully, we're well pushing for that. So let's get going with the first new application. Aaron Corky, 202 East Main Street, seeks permission to open a collectible store with trading cards, games, hobbies, subject premise located in D2 Business Zone. Good evening, sir. You have your receipts. Mr. Logan, you can stand at the podium. You state your name and address for the record, and tell us about your application.
My name is Aaron Coffey, business locations 202 East Main Street, Patchogue. The business plans is just to be a trading card store as any other one. Includes like games like Pokemon, Magic, as well as sports, memorabilia. It's a collection of collectible stuff. Don't need to do any structural work to it, just need a certificate of occupancy. Pretty much sums up.
So you're basically going to paint the place.
Mhm.
Painting, drywall, and
Yes,
fencing,
correct.
but no additions.
No,
Now, where exactly is 202 East Main Street? What's in that building right now?
what used to be there was a place called House of Honeys. It's right next to Sherwin-Williams.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
all right, so you're down by the medical facility.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. What's going to be your hours of operation?
I was thinking 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. That way, because it's more of like a leisure activity. It's not like a necessity. So I stay open a little bit later and allow people to do whatever they're free.
Is it 7 days a week?
Yeah.
You guys gonna host like tournaments for the card players or anything like that?
We plan to. We do have to go through separate approvals for those leagues and stuff. But that's in the future.
Any baseball cards, football cards,
Yes.
all that?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. And will you be buying and selling those things,
Correct.
trading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe trading.
I got about 10,000 of those in my garage.
But the restrooms at the back of the building, it's not specified.
Yes, they're at the back of the building.
How many employees will you have?
Currently it's just me. Not sure yet because it is a new business. I don't have any. I just don't have my house, so I don't have like a projected income or revenue for that brick and mortar. But in the future, I'm hoping to have at least 2 or 3 additional people.
Okay. And all the parking for that is in the rear.
Correct.
Do you have a name for the business yet?
Yeah, it's the Card Collective NY.
So you'll be putting a sign on the front of your,
I will be,
storefront,
yes, I just
Yeah.
haven't gotten one designed and,
and you know you come for a separate application for that, okay?
yes.
And everyone will be entering from the front.
Yeah, because I have the storage room towards the back. I don't want people going that way.
You wouldn't make an entrance from the back?
I could,
Because I strongly suggested,
I know,
that's where the parking is gonna be.
yeah, I was thinking about it, just,
I think you should think real hard about it.
yeah.
We're not
Yeah, no,
requiring it, I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
people are lazy.
Yeah.
And that, take it from me, you wanna have a rear entrance to the store, and it would look like the layout here would afford you to do that.
You said keep your storage room locked.
Don't, yeah.
Yeah, keep your storage room locked, and,
There's also a lot of construction in that area.
Right now.
yes, well, right now,
Yeah, yeah,
but in the future,
in the future, yes.
you know, you really wanna have some signage and something to attract the people that are in the parking lot. I mean,
So I see here you've got the showroom up front, 3 offices,
Correct.
and
The
then a
main-
play space.
Yes, the main office is in the front, and there's 2 additional offices, like a little break room that doesn't have a door, and then a play space is gonna be where people can come in and play their table games.
So these are table games and not video games, not electronic games.
Correct. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, just personally, my son went through, like a lot of kids, like a pretty intense Pokemon phase in elementary school. We couldn't figure out how to play the game, no matter how many videos online we watched. And we went to a couple different card stores, trying to find someone to show us how to play in person.
Yeah.
And couldn't find it. And I said, you know, if we found a place where he could show up and, you know, someone could show him how to, you know, the basics of the game, we'd be there weekly. You know, and he wasn't the only one, a lot of his friends, you know, there was a brief period of time where they all wanted to learn.
Yeah, like
Now,
that.
they kind of grew out of it now, but
Well, that ties into the tournaments and stuff. We do have to hire a person that knows every official rule of it to be able to teach people and, you know, make sure it's officiated that way.
yeah,
So,
that was something that would have, as a parent, you know, that would have drew me into any store locally. And I was calling around. Yeah, does anybody have a place where someone's there to show us how to play, because he's dying to know?
Yeah.
And then he grew out of it. And,
but you gotta catch them in place.
Yeah, I second that. I don't know if I wanted to learn, but.
Well, my brother-in-law's in his 30s. He's looking forward to your store opening.
Oh, great.
Anybody else have any questions? Is there signage involved with this application, ladies?
No,
Not yet, no. There is a sign that's up there now from House of Honeys.
Yeah.
So are you just gonna be replacing that sign?
So how are you, a cheeky peach? House of Honeys?
No.
I will be replacing it. I just haven't gotten the plans drawn up for that yet.
And I see there's some like vinyl on the windows that's coming off, so you can be taking that off as well.
Correct.
Sounds like yours.
And no LED lighting around the windows. No,
I didn't miss that.
you know what Mr. Logan's talking about, right? I see them sometimes in storefronts outside the village.
Like the
Someone
open,
come in and sell the proprietor LED lighting that'll go
Yeah.
in the window.
Yes.
That's not like.
alright, wasn't planning.
you live in Mastic. It's quite a bit of Mastic.
Hmm?
Quite a bit of.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in Mastic, yeah.
it's always good to check with the building department before you put up anything in the window.
Sounds good.
Any other questions for the applicant at this time? Okay, anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this applicant?
Thank you.
That's good, good comment. I'll entertain a motion from the board.
Not a resident expert.
Mr. Chairman,
Since you're the Pokemon.
yeah, the Pokemon master.
I don't even know what language you speak.
Move that we approve the application as submitted.
Motion made. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Second from Rob.
Second evolution.
Motion made and seconded for the application taking its normal course. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome to Patchogue. Good luck. I didn't realize there was a Pokemon game.
They have these games for everything now. He got into another show and we had to go into the city and try and learn how to play this game. Wow, in the city someplace.
Dedication.
Hey, you get one shot at this, right?
He's right.
He's just the better quality, man.
Three Gansos LLC, 125 East Main Street. Seek permission to renovate second floor for offices and construct metal fire escape. Subject premises located in a D3 vacant zone. Good evening, sir. State your name and address for the record. Mr. Lovely, you have the receipts.
Yep, Mario Bigliotta, 10 Knoxon Street, Patchogue.
Mr. Vigliotto.
Mr. Chairman, let the record reflect, so we met with Mr. Wheeler a couple of times about this site.
Yes, we have.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Mario Bigliotta, Colonial Property Consultants. I'm a Suffolk County licensed expediter. I'm here on behalf of my clients, Three Gansos LLC. They are the owners of 125 East Main Street, which was the location of the former Row Agent Insurance Agency. I came before you in April of last year on behalf of the same client to request approval for a takeout restaurant on the first floor known as Buffalo Wild Wings Go, which is the takeout concept of the Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant chain. The owners now propose to lease out the 1,622 square foot second floor office space as shown in the floor plan that I've submitted. The office space would be divided into 8 individual offices, 2 in the front, 6 in the rear. The floor plan mirrors the floor plan that was used for years by the Row Insurance Agency. The owners also propose to construct a 103 square foot metal staircase off the back of the building that would provide additional ingress and egress to the second floor tenants for normal use or in case of an emergency. There is another separate staircase entrance to the second floor in the front of the building from the street. I would like to point out that this use is nothing new and conforms to the other second floor use as office space all along Main Street in the village of Patchogue. I have compiled a list of other businesses that have second floor office space all along Main Street in the village of Patchogue. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. How's the Wild Wings doing?
From what I understand, pretty good.
We like to hear that. We had a problem with the fire escape as it was presented at that time.
The landing, yeah.
Yeah,
And also
and-
conceptually, they wanted to do apartments.
Right.
Right, correct.
So now it's offices and we have an approved second floor fire escape plan by the fire inspector. I mean, that's Peter, right?
Yes,
Yeah, so Mr. Sarich has looked at it and, you know, the board kind of felt it was a little too steep. And so now you put a few, you know, platforms in it, landings. Okay. Questions for the applicant?
I really have no questions.
yes.
Any
Just
questions?
looking at-
This is a, essentially a reawakening of what's been there for probably 100 years.
Correct.
I believe that they had the insurance agency downstairs and all the offices upstairs. So the offices, there's really no change in the structure. It's just the reason it's come before us is because the upstairs has been dormant for a period of more than 1 year. So we're just reaffirming what's already there.
And we need a secondary means of egress, which should be done by otherwise.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's because that's been brought up to code, obviously. Is there anything from the architectural review committee on this particular application?
No.
Okay, so is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak for or against the application? There being no one coming forward, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we present the application as presented.
Motion made to approve, can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Castelli. All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Thank you all very much.
Painless.
When's Dunkin' Donuts open?
Excuse me,
When's Dunkin' Donuts open?
Dunkin' Donuts.
In Blue Point.
Oh, Blue Point. The Brookhaven, town of Brookhaven isn't as easy as you guys. But soon.
Remember April. Take care, Mayor.
Bye-bye now.
Third application is Maria Morocho, 80 Terry Street, seeks permission to open a nutrition cafe with artworks displays. Subject premises located in the Arts and Cultural Zone. Good evening.
Good evening.
You have your cards, your receipts?
Yes.
Mr. Logan, state your name and address for the record. You're going to speak and tell us all about your application.
Maria Brocho,
Ma'am.
80, 28 Stephen Place, Coral, New York, 11727.
Okay. So you're gonna put in a nutrition club cafe.
Yes, I'm helping her because I'm actually the owner of the property.
Yeah.
But her English is not great, so I told her I'll come and help her out.
Just so that identify yourself for the record. please.
Robert Nazar.
Address?
My home address is 10 Little Court, Deer Park, New York, 11729.
Okay, and you're the landlord.
I am.
Okay, so tell us about the business.
So she was there prior, like about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay,
She left to open another one, but now because of the hospital being built, she
right,
wanted to come back and she found out that I had vacancy.
right.
So she jumped all over it.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a home run for that location.
So it's gonna be a like a little coffee house with some artwork.
Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of nice artwork. She took my advice. I told her to make it like New York City, kind of like a theme.
Mhm.
So it'd be like black and white pictures of like, like landmarks all across of New York. And it's gonna be on both sides. She forgot to bring the paper. She actually had a really beautiful design. So she's gonna have like flowers, like those big flowers that come down and cover the walls. And then the pictures are gonna be basically all around it. So she
And
has
the
a,
pictures are for sale.
we
will have some product for sale, correct?
I mean, yeah, we'll
It
definitely,
is the arts and
yeah, so definitely we'll sell it.
once it's theater.
She'll definitely sell it. Anyways, anything to make money. So if anybody wants to buy it, they'll be for sale.
Questions? Ms. Costello?
Yeah.
Or Ms. Beckman, are you in the penalty box tonight? Or are you with the big folks?
The accused.
All right, so then Ms. Costello.
So it's a cafe, is there a kitchen or is there cooking on the?
There won't be no cooking. It's like a juice bar. It's like a fancy juice bar that she's going to be making. It's like all nutritional smoothies. But there'll definitely be coffee being sold and pastries.
Prepackaged.
Prepackaged, yes,
This
nothing,
was the business that was there before, the same exact business?
same exact
Okay,
business,
so it's
that-
not-
More like an art cafe.
Yes, like the same exact business.
same
Yeah,
exact
okay.
business,
Not, okay,
yeah.
not a deja vu.
New operator.
No, same
No,
operator,
Same, I
Same
remember,
operator.
yeah.
yeah.
How long ago was that? I don't know.
I think it was like 5, 6 years ago.
I think when the district was new, like they were just shortly after we
Yeah.
created the
Yeah, I
district.
can remember.
Yeah,
That's approving that.
I did that, I did it with Susan and Roy.
Council, any question? No. So I just want to understand, so you're gonna have healthy juices with,
Different, like healthy pastries.
with healthy pastries?
Yeah, so it's
Could you give me
technically.
a list of those?
We'll send some more.
So I guess my question would be, what kind of kitchen prep is there for the juice bar?
Just a sink,
Just a sink.
that's all,
We
that's
just
all,
cut up fruit and.
fruit and stuff, yep, and then it goes right into the blenders.
So require any help department?
I don't know.
Check on that.
Doesn't sound like it, but
I mean, no baking on premises, the pastry is gonna be brought in.
Exactly, there won't be absolutely no cooking,
Coffee
and
machine. probably.
coffee machine, definitely.
To check with them.
yeah, I would just double check with Suffolk County Health
I
to make
definitely,
sure, because if they go in there, and she doesn't have what she needs. then
yeah,
I-
I already explained all
Okay.
that for her. And then again, it's her and her partner, they have like 5 of these. So this is nothing,
Oh, then, yeah.
yeah, it's nothing that's
Do
gonna be
they have
brand
any
new.
other in Suffolk County?
No tienen la otra, la socia, Bethpage,
That's Nassau.
yeah, Nassau.
Do you know if she
Oh,
has
and
the
Riverhead.
receipts? The white receipts that get
Tienen
stamped?
los otros recibos que le dio post office. Alberto, ¿lo tiene?
Es que me dijo que no necesitaba, por eso me
They
dio
told-
blanco,
They told her that she didn't need it, that the receipt
the
was.
green one. I give you the white one.
Right. Shows what she sent to Grim still. Okay.
Any questions on this side? of the Board here?
What are your hours of operation?
It's gonna be 6 to 6, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. But on Friday and Saturday, she's gonna stay open a little later, maybe up to 8, maybe 9. Depending on the foot traffic.
And that you'll have employees running this business,
At first, it's gonna be between her and her partner.
okay?
But then as the business grows, then she'll hire people.
Does the building have any parking for itself, or would it be municipal?
It would be municipal.
Okay.
And then right in front, street parking, and you guys are familiar where it is. Not only do you have that big parking lot, but also street parking has about 23 parking spots.
And so so the orders will be taken at where it says front desk, and then the preparation is gonna be at this long table in the back?
Yes,
That's it.
that's it. Again, it's smoothies, so there isn't a lot of prep. Mostly the back part is gonna be storage for the stuff, because she'll have it in her counter to make everything that she needs.
What about refrigeration?
Just a regular refrigerator.
And that's gonna be behind this front desk also?
Yes,
And also, because you mentioned coffee, so that's why that's gonna be in the front.
that will be in the front.
People be able to self-serve or how's it?
Usted va a servir el café o usted va a dejar que la gente se lo haga. It's gonna be self-serve.
So-
Yeah.
And in the drawing, because you only have the front desk here and then some tables where people sit, so where would you be serving the coffee?
It'll probably be against this wall, the opposite side of the table.
Over here?
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for, I guess, the application?
And Chairman, there is a ARB piece, signage piece.
So please.
So they're proposing, one sign
Yeah.
on the north elevation. We'd like to have that approved as submitted, and it's not lit.
It's not
So
going to
no
be.
lighting,
No.
I mean, that's it.
So therefore, you're making a motion to approve the signage as well as the application to take its normal course?
I will do that, yes.
Can I get a second on that?
I'll say.
Second by Ms. Becky. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good luck.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for coming back to Patchogue.
Thank
You.
you. Have a great night.
Best of luck with your new business. Moving right along to the adjourned calendar, West Avenue Partners. The hotel, what, April, May, June, somewhere in there.
Good way to get tempo in this.
So we already adjourned. PB Goose, do we have a letter on PB Goose? Is there anything on PB Goose that? you know
We have
about?
a letter of.
PB Goose is the parcel behind Road Avenue.
You guys really-
Okay, so, as far as our application is concerned, this is made out to the village of Patchogue on March 18th. This letter is to acknowledge that my client has decided to withdraw the zoning and planning board applications as contracts for the purpose of subdividing land owned by PB Goose LLC. Please be guided accordingly. If you have any comments, questions in this regard, please do not hesitate to contact me. And it's very truly yours, Craig Augie, Esquire. So we can remove this from our calendar.
Make a motion to remove.
Can I get a second? Second, all those in favor? Any opposed? Did you let it back?
So Eric is.
Panaro Development LLC, 35 Panaro. Let's, hang on a second, before we do that. Let's just, cause unite people, 173 Waverly Avenue. Seeks permission to open rehabilitation and training center. So we know.
They're gonna have a CBA meeting on that, likely this should be by April first.
Okay, so we're still in this decision. And, we already took care of the 80 Terry Street. I want to be done with business when we get to yours. And do you have anything on this 144?
We have that, and then we have a number of walk-ins.
Okay, but
On the 144, I could do now, like,
yeah, the only thing on our agenda is the 144.
right, and then I'll read these after.
Why would you read those after they're not on the agenda? Oh, okay,
That's
right,
those,
right, right.
That we usually do,
Right, right,
okay.
right, right.
So the 144 Medford Avenue is, approved as submitted. New vinyl siding and new windows as submitted. I'd like to make a motion to approve that.
Motion approved. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So you want me to do these walk-ins?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so we have a number, this one is 180 East Main Street. Approved that submitted for, Main Street Planning Group sign. We amended the application to having a second sign saying Conference Associates. This is by.
This is the lens building.
Mhm. They're gonna be emailing Lauren a rendering that, which you'll send to me. Okay.
For the unwashed. Where's the line?
It's the building next to Madame Curie's.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
So
Yeah,
I'd like,
Yes, it does.
Next to me.
There you go.
yeah, make it approve,
Yeah, next to it.
No lawyers.
Motion to approve.
motion to approve.
No promises.
Motion made to approve. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Next.
This next one is. Okay, so this is our Ruto Osaka, the address is 30 East Main Street.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they put up a lot of this, which we are not approving. We're asking them to take down, they put up what is, I guess, big
Vines.
vines and foliage all on the awning without approval. We're asking them to remove that. Unfortunately, they did the work today. I got a call by a neighboring business.
Look, houses.
Locks up.
Oaxaca.
Wow.
So
Oaxaca.
we did
Wow.
not, no,
Yes.
Best restaurant in Patchogue.
we did not want to set a precedent of.
Yeah,
It's on
well,
what?
obviously, if it's not allowable, it's not allowable, so the building department will instruct them to take it down.
Part of his application, which we will approve, is a hanging sign. He is set an made an application for that. We said that would be approved. So we're asking him, the motion is going to be to deny the foliage and the vines and the flowers on the awning, to approve the hanging sign. He needs to repaint his 2 flower boxes because he has his name on that and it's too many per elevation. You're only allowed 1 sign per elevation. I said if he needed to do anything else, he will need to send us prior to doing work.
Mhm.
So that's the motion.
Motion made. Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next. is- These signs are already up. This is 23 River Avenue, Patchogue, New York. The application is for 2 signs. We're going to approve the sign on the building.
So Mr. Delacorte?
Yes, we're approving.
Send all of it?
Yeah, sign on the building. We're asking him to take down the paper signs on the lower half of all the front windows. We're allowing him to keep one, if you're facing the building, on the left side because there's a refrigerator behind it. We're allowing him to keep the signage on the top of the windows, but he's to remove everything on the bottom of the windows. That is on the west facade. Thank you. And also on the signage on the top, again, these signs have been up. He's going to remove the address, which is on that sign. Unfortunately, the sign that's on the freestanding sign is against code. It's 12 feet and it's 32 square feet. So we're gonna have to ask him to take that down. He can replace it if he wants with an application for 9 feet and 30 square feet. So I was hoping to try to help him out, but it's not within code.
How big is the sign?
The sign is 8 feet by 4 feet
So it's only
and
2
it's
feet
12
over?
feet high.
And it's, yeah, it's
2 feet
I
over.
mean, he does have the option to go to the zoning board, but
Yeah, for 2 feet, they'll probably give it to him.
Okay.
But
He
for
still
2
has,
square feet.
yeah, well, we were concerned when he lowers that,
Right.
when he lowers it to 9 feet, that it's gonna be,
It's
Possibly.
It's 8 feet wide.
It's
If
a
they-
4x8,
yeah,
yeah.
it might be, but, you know, right now it's out of the way, but it's 12 feet. If he lowers it to 9 feet, our concern of it being over the code, being not good.
was there any input from him? Was he agreeable to remove it or?
I told him we'd see what we can do. I said I would talk to you. I didn't think of the zoning part, but he did, he did agree to lower it.
Yeah, not a problem.
But I did tell him this was 2 feet too big and I'd see what we could do,
So is it to the top of the sign or to the bottom of the sign?
the top of the sign.
So if it's 4 feet high and you have to lower it to 9, that means the bottom of that sign is at 5 feet.
Might be,
Hazard to navigation.
yeah, it might be.
I might be,
Site with cars. or
yeah,
trucks.
that would be something I have to look at.
Which is kind of the situation at the corner of Bay Avenue.
With that
Main
checkers,
Street,
you
the
see
checkers sign,
checkers.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Yeah, we're only
kind of-
going by what
What
he's
the-
showing
yeah.
us, you know, he's saying it's 12 feet. We haven't visited the site to actually look at it.
Well, you can see it from here, it's 12 feet to the top of the sign.
That's what he's saying, yeah.
So the bottom of the sign is sitting at 8 feet.
So do you want to adjourn it to next month before we do anything?
well, what are we gonna do?
It's not, doesn't meet the code.
It doesn't meet
Doesn't meet
code.
the code. So we got to remove it or he's got to go to zoning board. I mean,
Yeah,
and they
It is what it is.
determine if it's gonna affect line of sight.
We don't have the,
Maybe miss
we
it.
don't have the horsepower here to change, or to give any kind of variance, that would be up to the zoning board of appeals.
So you can approve the rest of it, but the freestanding would be adjourned pending, whatever, and then he's got to come in and talk to us.
okay, so I'll just reiterate the sign on the building. We're gonna take off the 23 River Avenue. That can stay. He's removing the paper signs on the bottom of each window, keep the one that's covers up a refrigerator, and keeping this paper signs that are on the top of the windows. The freestanding sign is against code and we'll have to go for a change of zoning. Is that how you put it?
He needs to give a variance.
For variance,
For
yeah,
variance.
So that's my motion.
And that's right out by the road,
Yeah.
and that's literally next to the
And by
sidewalk.
You
So,
know, there's a school across the street,
Yeah,
school
exactly.
buses, I don't think it's,
I think that that's an issue.
yeah.
Okay, so that's your motion.
Mhm.
Okay, can I get a second on that motion?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Logan. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
It's also a church next door.
There's also a church next door, right? Next,
Think,
that's your cue to go to the next application.
yeah,
Nice T-bangs together.
let's see. This one. This one is 31 Baker Place, which is the old Baja. There's the old tiki bar. I always think of it as River Avenue, but it's 31 Baker Place. We need to visit this site. I told him, we would approve it as submitted based on our visit tomorrow. Because it got a little complicated with quite a lot of signs.
Do you want to hold it to next month or do you want to move on it tonight?
I'd like to move on it. He's just putting all these signs in the same place the previous signs were. So I'd rather not hold him up if they want to open up in May.
What's he calling again?
Sandbar,
Um,
but because we just handed it tonight, we like to at least see and something doesn't pop out of us that we can't see on the photographs. So I'd like to make a motion to approve it as submitted based on our visit, which we'll let you know tomorrow.
You do that, council?
Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah, it's just there were so many signs. We just don't have a handle on. where they're all.
No, it's great that you guys could definitely
We
take a
like
look
to
at it.
visit
Oh, yeah.
prior, so this one.
I
was too
understand.
much.
Visit the facility. Have lunch.
Oh, they're even.
Take care of it. Okay, so we'll make a motion that based on their visit tomorrow, it'll be approved and or if they have any modifications to it, those will be part of that grant. Okay, so there's a motion by Ms. Costello, can I get a second? Second by Ms. Beckman. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, carry on.
Also, when you're there, see if they ever built that pergola that we approved.
Pergola?
We approved
Well,
a
they
huge,
approved it, wasn't that approved for the prior?
the prior owner, but I wonder if they ever built
They
it.
built the pergola, yeah.
What?
There's a pergola.
Did they build the big pergola?
I think
I
so,
haven't been
yeah.
in there since they came for us.
I thought there was an issue with it. I think there was an issue with it. But, you know, it got approved, but then it went to the building department, and I think there was something going on, I just can't recall what. But
Is that supposed to go down over the beach or something? Because there is an enclosed area there over the bar.
Yeah, no, there's
Oh,
down
one that
on
they
the
were
other
like-
side where they had the tent.
On the,
Yeah.
You
There
wanted
was
to
a-
build pergola, we approved. it.
yeah,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know, there was an issue with that, I don't know.
Anything else?
One other thing with the 31 Bakers, he's adding one gooseneck light on one of the elevations, which I'll let you know.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you for all your hard work, ladies.
We
Definitely
also
appreciate
checked
that.
the approval of the previous owner for outdoor music. Since we approved it based on the fact that we were going to be using the non-noisy stuff, with headphones after.
Silent disco.
Sound system
Right, well,
for hours.
every year they have to renew the noise permit with the village clerk's office, so I'm sure they're in the midst of doing that, couple seasons coming.
Silent disco this year.
How'd that work out?
I don't know.
Canal Court LLC, 35 Canal Court, seeks referral to the Board of Trustees for a special permit for two-family dwelling subject premises located in the industrial zone. Let the record reflect that we met with the applicant just prior to our meeting tonight at our work session. Good evening, sir. State your name and address for the record.
Christopher Ross, 178 East Main Street, Patchogue, New York, for the applicant Panero Developments.
Hey, Mr. Ross.
Good evening. As we had discussed unique before, we have an approximately 100 by 60 lot that is currently industrial zoned. The proposal is to put a 3,700 square foot two-family structure on there. It's 40% coverage of the lot. And to note, as we had started discussing earlier, that the street itself has a number of multifamily units already on the property. In fact, the subject structure directly west of the proposed structure is a multifamily, as is the structure at the front of Panera.
You say 40% coverage, I thought you said 46 over
I have building coverage pursuant to the drawings that were provided. It's 40.5.
Do we have, I know you have a drawing. Do we have a drawing? Did we have a drawing in our packet?
No, I gave him that.
In the packets,
They're small.
There, it's a small miniature.
I submitted this one, I believe, I thought we had uploaded the electronic. I can have a second.
Does anybody else not have one?
I don't have
I don't have anything.
What's the lot size on it? I can.
It's roughly 100 by 60. It's, sorry, it was on the one side, the western side is 99.55. The eastern side is 97.86. And on either end, on the north side, we're at 60.34 and the south side 60.46.
It's the minimum lot area. And the industrial is 10,000 square feet for a buildable lot, so it's gonna be. That'll be a big variance there too, in addition to the rear yard you mentioned. More short.
What was the requirement?
It's 10,000 square feet.
And what is it?
It looks like they're giving about, a little over 5,000, so about.
50%.
Yeah. And there's a rear, they show the rear yard setback in there too, which. They need variance for that.
All right, so we need rear, lot coverage, front, side.
It's not lot, I think the lot coverage are okay on, it's the lot area.
What is?
Correct, the lot area requires 10,000 square. We're
Oh,
covering.
it's the industrial, okay.
Right.
See.
And it's the industrial, but it's being used for residential. I mean, that's a standard.
The rear yard setback is one, yeah, that's required, so they're providing what, 9.7?
And on the sides, it's 7.4 and 7.5, is that?
The sides, technically, the industrial, you will need a setback, I believe.
Yeah, no, you can go right.
But you need 25 feet on the rear yard, so they were gonna keep it.
And the suggestion to the board is obviously, we prefer, this be used as residential. Whether the group home is behind it, the properties that lead to the side, we'd much rather have this used from a residential standpoint. So the proposed project fits the house.
But the house doesn't fit the side of the lot, it's 15 pounds a unit a lot, if I that bag. It really is, there's no open space on the property. And again, you're providing a parking space in the middle of the driveway. There's
From the
access
parking
to
space, I don't know that I could argue from what's there, but in comparison to the other variables that we're discussing, it's consistent with what else is on the block and measured there. You're in a unique spot, especially being backed up to a group home on the other side, the Long Island Railroad on one
I don't
side.
consider the group home an issue, I consider Long Island Railroad an issue, not a group home.
Yeah, because you can't, anyway, you spend, you can't have a parking lot blocking the other, you can't get out
Well,
of the other parking spots.
the railroad is moot because whether it's a single family home or a two-family home, the railroad's the railroad. It's not gonna be very pleasant to live there, but you have to put a lot of soundproofing in that house.
And it's certainly a lot that needs a little TLC and a little creative thinking to get us to get something that's in there that's gonna be productive and practical and something that's gonna be maintainable.
Again, my suggestion was that the house in the middle of the lot facing west with yard around it. And make it a single family house or a smaller footprint for a two family house. Because it just doesn't work.
Why would this come to us first? Just out of
Because
curiosity.
they need a referral.
Well, referral to the village board,
Board of
but
Trustees,
I mean, my referral letter is going to say it's gonna require a tremendous number of. So why not let zoning deal with it first?
This.
That's not a bad idea, give them
Which
size.
send them to zoning.
I mean, look at the size of these variances.
This is
I mean,
39.
What am I supposed to say as a planning chair?
This is 39.
Name of the father, the son.
I can do all that. I've done it, believe me, but.
Do you think that a residential, like a single family residential use could work there?
Better than this two-family, right?
All right, the only other, the problem is there's a two-family next door and there's a two-family directly at the high end of the street.
I didn't create those things.
I understand, but it's consistent with what's there. And in fact, a lot.
And they're both non-conforming uses.
Well, the problem is,
The
because
special
it's
permit.
consistent with what's there, doesn't mean you make a bad problem worse.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this situation back here, look, I worked in a local legislator's office for a decade. And the amount of complaints we get about the trains there, back up against someone's house is like, that's another resident we're creating with a massive problem.
Well, the trains don't stage there anymore because they stage up between Bay Avenue.
They always have, I know, but they're still very loud.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of trash that comes as a result of that,
Well,
garbage that flies in there,
I
but
just feel like if they weren't so close to the railroad, if it was turned maybe and up north more.
Yeah.
it would
And that's what my
help as a
suggestion is,
single
face it
family.
west.
Yeah,
Well, it can't go very far because it's like a
Pretty
very
open.
small lot to begin with, so.
This is so strange. Chris, can I see the survey?
yeah, but if we don't have more cars,
Well, yeah, I know, well,
no back.
it's problematic in the block. But it is a buildable lot. I just don't know that you can put this much on.
Right.
I don't know that I don't know that zoning's gonna be willing to create. This.
What's the lot coverage?
There's 3 sheds.
40%, just over 40%, 40.53.
I know. That's all.
And just because it's the industrial, doesn't mean we should put
No.
a first, you know,
Or flat.
a family home on an
I mean, we're
industrial
setting
lot.
precedent, a lot, so.
Oh, so it doesn't meet, so it doesn't meet zoning and it doesn't meet,
It doesn't mean anything.
it doesn't meet
Yeah.
variances or zoning.
Right.
Yeah.
It won't meet health
Right,
department,
right.
it won't meet anything.
And that's consistent, but that's also consistent with the other parcels that were there, they're also E-industrial. The other
Yes.
parcels that have,
Oh, it is,
Exi-
there's little pieces of the industrial all over.
Yeah, existing, those homes were
It
built
doesn't
prior
make it
before
right.
zoning and stuff.
And if the house on Railroad Avenue has a special permit from the village board to exist as it does, based on historical use, and there was some battles over that last time the village board meeting. And I think that the two-family Panero house, I don't know what that status is, whether it's a non-conforming, whether it's a special permit.
Is your client opposed to putting a single family home on
from that standpoint, on their end, obviously the higher occupancy on that end, they tend to be, it's rentals, not home, owner occupied at this point in time. So from their end, it's sort of the biggest bang for their buck. They had originally come to pitch to zoning and building, which was a 4-family, which was turned down, and they said reducing it down to the 2-family would be more applicable and it'd be consistent with what else was already at least there. And they are the owners of the 2-family and the single family, they're immediately to the west. The one that's at the top of the block, that's a multifamily, is not something that they have ownership in any way.
Does the village have, if we're creating a new 2-family home, don't we have a residency requirement?
That's in the C, you're thinking C district.
Yeah, it's not.
C, right,
because
we're,
it's
the C, it's
E.
not an E, okay.
It would be a special permit, but it's not, by the board of trustees.
We're creating a new
And
2-family home.
renewable, it would have to be renewable,
Right.
like by the board of trustees.
The industrial is not, that's a breaking split.
No, I know that.
For-
I know for a home,
So
right?
they'd have to be giving out a non-owner occupied family,
Oh,
which,
but-
you know, not easy to do.
Yeah.
And I assume that you're using the 2 spaces look like they're actually in the residence, so you're using the garage as a space?
Yes,
Our code allow us to do that? Didn't we go through that with the apartments?
That's what I'm sorry.
Well, one of the spaces is in the garage.
I know, I
Can we
think,
do something with that, make a change? And that wasn't, because people don't use garages,
yeah,
parking
that's
I think
spaces.
we counted them,
yeah, I think
At one
traditionally with the
point.
single family and 2-family,
Yeah.
we probably have, yeah.
Well, the owner occupied, well, in the 2 houses we approved across from the Ore,
right,
we did count the garages as parking.
yes,
We did?
we
Yes, we did.
I think anything beyond the 2-family, we then, if it's multifamily, we wouldn't include the tandem spaces or the
Right.
garage.
This is near enough.
I mean, from that end,
It's
just-
more,
I would think that some of the comments that are made, they definitely have some valid points with regard. And it was something that we did address with the client's suggestion, because we had run into problems earlier when the trains were there, and having been a longtime property owner here for many years, that, you know, the trains always pose a problem, and even if they're just sitting there idling when it's parked, that maybe some kind of creative fencing as opposed to just simple PVC fencing in the back. But that's something that they obviously took to heart as they were considering it, especially if it's gonna be a property that's a rental property. Because You're gonna rent it, it looks really nice when nobody's in that train station, and you look at it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. When it's 5:30 and it's the express that they're picking up to Babylon and it's sitting there, they're not gonna be happy tenants for who's there. So I think from that end, they're open to being creative to address that so that it's not creating more, complaints or nuisances for the municipality at large. And I think Mr. Logan's point is well taken. To put the parking spot in the middle of, what is an easement, unless it belongs to that last unit, it poses a problem, both ingress and
And
egress.
that is an easement for both.
Can I drive my car to this property right now?
Yes,
There's a fence blocking it.
Just
you,
take
well, you
one
can
out?
drive, you can put your car at the fence. So where, you see where Fanero Court is on the survey?
Yep,
You can drive right up
to that.
there's a
the end.
fence here, that entire front area, there's no lawn space or anything that's there. That white PVC fence comes clear across.
I think we gotta look at this site. To get a better feeling for it. All right, well, we're gonna adjourn it to next month. We're gonna take a look at it. And then, after I feel better looking at the site, see if there's any feasibility to that at all. What do you guys think?
I don't think a project that large on that space is gonna work, and I mean, there has to be some kind of buffer, some kind of open space. It's, again, it's like a New York City railroad flat.
Well, essentially, that's what it is.
Right, and that's not what we are.
Even when we do apartment complexes, which hopefully we won't do any more of. What do you think about that for a second?
No more.
It's one of the-
We always set aside green area for the residents. I mean, imagine being a kid growing up in this house and, the only place you got to play is on the railroad tracks.
But also there's a water collection issue too. And if you don't have permeable surfaces, the water is going to flood.
So you're gonna have,
The structure is only covering 40% of the property. 60% of that property remains open. And whether or not the driveway surfaces are permeable or otherwise are completely open and not being thrown out. Nothing says that it has to be a paved over concrete Queens Village lot. We certainly know that there's, whether it's a permeable stone surface or if it's a concrete mesh that's under there or some other new viable piece that allows soil permeation by any rain, but the parcels that are currently next door, and maybe that's part of the give back or something that makes it more viable, is to alter the asphalt area, because the property that is immediately west, that entire parcel from that front of that residence all the way to the property line are asphalt.
I also want to look at the adjoining properties on Gerard Street, see how this would impact those properties.
I think we need to look at this, that's what we're gonna do. And, we'll come back next month and we'll talk more about this. Everybody agree?
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah. There's no one in the audience, so, yeah, you can make that motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
What's the date on the next meeting?
Our next meeting's,
The 22nd,
Thank you.
when is it?
April 22nd.
22nd. Anything else, any other business before the board tonight? We'll be done. Wish you all a very good night. And thank you all for your work tonight, and especially want to thank you ladies. You had a pretty busy night. Busy tonight. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Good night.
Is it made? Was there a motion?
So
made?
moved.
Okay, getting a second. All in favor?